Word up. Yeah. So thank you for joining us. I'm me, and that's him. And in a minute, we're going to sound like we know what we're talking about, and we're going to be Live. And listen, I'll say it when the program really starts, but we're integrating right now with Grown and Married and Marriage Ain't for Suckers for a little while. And so I appreciate that. And yeah, we're going to let it fly like that for a little while until Simone is ready to come back. And there it is.
I, okay.
What?
I got in trouble.
You got in trouble for what?
This morning, like for real, I had to change the what's the name in the back seat, and I just didn't feel like it. And so I was taking Nico and Mason to daycare, Nico to daycare, to camp, and Mason to daycare. And so I put Nico in the front seat. He had a seatbelt on. And she was like, "What is Nico doing sitting in the front seat?" But here's the funny thing.
Oh,
In order for you to, I mean, the babysitter is 5 minutes away from here. So I don't have to go out on the main road. I can go through the subdivisions like to get to, and then you go out on the main road because the intersection be tied up in the morning because of morning time traffic. You come out, you go out the road, not even 2 minutes, and go right back in to the next subdivision. And she saw me because Nico was in the car dancing this morning, and she was like, Mr. Green, forget the sauce. Why is he in the front seat? Are you seriously trying to get a ticket and give me a heart attack? What? Because of this? Look. Hold on.
you recorded it? You recorded it, bro?
I recorded it in my stories and I forgot that Faith would probably be seeing it.
No, that's not only faith, man. You got to take that off.
Yeah?
Yeah. How you mean, bro? You got to take that off.
Oh, no, they ain't gonna do that.
I ain't gonna do nothing.
He
That's gonna
got
be the one video that goes viral. You gonna be in the soup, son. Like you bugging.
Yeah, I was being lazy this morning, B. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
Don't do it, man. Take it off the stories, man.
Yeah,
Don't say you never heard it. All right.
yeah.
Well, anyway, we're gonna sound like we know what we talking about
In 2 minutes.
in 2 minutes. And yeah, yeah. So Grown and Married and Marriage Ain't for Suckers came together for a little while. And we're gonna keep doing it for a little while.
Let's go.
Deep into August, probably.
Word up.
Then we form another whatever. All right, y'all. So Quest, when you ready, you just let me know and I'll say what I gotta say, except you be upstaging me lately. So that's quite cool, quite fine.
All right. Quiet on the set.
Hey, yo, Quest, it's time to give the people something, man. What we talking about today? What up? What up? What up? This is never mind.
It's your boy Quest, man. Welcome to another edition of the Marriage Ain't for Suckers podcast. Alongside my co-host, my man, my man, L. David Harris.
Get on the
And MC.
What up, though? Yo,
Yo,
class reception.
yeah, classes in session. Y'all just go ahead and get in here.
Wrong.
Yo,
It's rabbit season.
yeah, I'm I've been catching my man lovely. So Quest, you go ahead, get yourself together so I can say what I need to say. Yeah, I'm quiet on the set.
It's all GOOD.
Yeah, man. What up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Marriage Ain't for Suckers podcast.
Yes, and
Yeah,
don't forget our sister, our baby
yeah.
sister, man.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Our baby sister.
Yeah, grown and married.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Grown and married. Yo, D, come on, keep your boy
Yeah,
on point,
keeping
man.
keeping them together
Yeah,
for a little while,
yeah.
class.
Well, shouts out to the grown and married crew. Word up. and the grown and married audience, man. And so we're gonna for a little while Moni's doing her thing, you know what I'm saying, getting back on point, we're gonna knock out two birds with one stone. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed, man. So yeah, D, everything is lovely on the US side. Shots out. Oh, I gotta share something with you too. Shots out to Sarasota, Florida, because that's where we're going on Friday, and we'll be there for a week. So next week we'll be, you know what I'm saying? I'll be down further. I'd like to go a whole lot further south, but that's another story. But yo, due to knowledge, shouts out to Mary Jane for Suckers though, and
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. This week, Hernandez, he's from the Union. I forgot his first name.
Car, oh, you said Hernandez,
Yeah,
not Rodriguez.
yeah, Hernandez. It's either Hernandez or Fernandez.
I don't know.
Dope dude, man. He's doing an awesome job, man. Doing a little bit of a revival, if you will, in the city of Charlotte. He's doing it across the city. And of course, all of our peoples from all the different churches are coming out to support whatever the case may be. So we've been there, and my man has been putting down a fire word every night. I'm talking about fire. I'm so proud of the dude. But while I was there, D, a dude that I've seen him before. I know he goes to one of our churches here in Charlotte. And he, kind of stopped me in the hallway. He was like, Quest. And I was like, hey, what's up? And he said, brother, shots out to you. He was like, no, he didn't say shots out, but I'm saying shots out. He said hats off or something along those lines. He said, shots out to you and your boy David, man, your brother David, man. And I was like, and I was kind of stumped. I was like, wait a minute, where does he know me and David from at the same time? And I was like, let me just close my mouth before I play myself real quick to find it. Because sometimes you don't remember people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't want to make my man feel like I forgot him in any way, shape. I'm a flamingo. It's the flamingo way. So yeah, I said, he was like, yeah, man. He kept talking. He was like, yeah, man. Let me tell you something. Mary Jane for Suckers.
Beautiful.
A godsend is really what he said. And basically, I was just saying, man, well, shoot, praise God then, because you know what I'm saying? Sometimes we doing what we do and we have no idea. He said, brother, let me tell you something. When you guys are doing what you're doing, you have no idea whose lives you're touching. And I don't want to say his name because he may not want to be said, his name
Right.
said.
Understood.
But the brother said, he said, it helps especially for guys like me. I don't know what like me meant, but if it's helping, man.
Enough said.
Yep. So shouts out to my man. I ain't gonna say his name, but shouts out to him, man, for the vote of encouragement, man, and just letting us know that sometimes you're doing the work and you're wondering if it's having an effect. I just got a reminder this week that it is.
Wonderful,
man. So I'm thankful to him, and I'm thankful to God that He continues to allow us to do what we love to do. So this way, it don't even feel like work, D. It just, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, indeed, I do. I do.
Yeah, so shouts out to him, man. Other than that, man, the Green Clan is lovely. We've been out there almost every night. At least we've been going every night. The only time I didn't get to go was last night because I had a session. But other than that, we've been going. It's been fire, and I believe the family's being blessed by it.
Wonderful.
So, yeah, man. What's going on the on the rock?
Yeah, a lot of big stress situations, man. But I'm not gonna tell you what I normally tell you. But Lord's been showing me some love, showing us some love. I need a miracle. I need a vehicle. I need a CRV or a RAV4. So if anybody's feeling benevolent, I'm not even trying to be funny, because my truck is down.
The Element.
It's not just you don't just fix it. Like for now, it's not seeing no road. So you feel benevolent, let us know, man. And I don't feel shame about it. So listen, because I need a miracle. So here's that. And I'm going to tell you a quick story, man. The water was not running. The pump
again?
Water Commission was not sending water our way.
Right? Okay.
Right. So, and it was for weeks, right? And Lord bless us, it wasn't for months, as many months like before. We've had months without it, right? So, long story short, 2 of our tanks empty. the one with the pump on it. Our tanks, empty, right? We had one more that's up on the roof that gravity fed. It's a small little tank, and you don't really get no pressure out of it. And the other night, man, I was just feeling so tired, man. I had to preach a funeral. I had, of course, internment. We had board meeting in the morning. Long day, man. I just wanted a proper shower, not a flash and go. You understand?
Yeah, no, proper.
Word up. Man, I went in the box, man, and turned the water on, and it was coming out like water commission was sending water, bro.
Trickle.
No, I said it was not trickling. I said like they were sending the water, like
Wow.
how you are accustomed to water, where you don't have to worry about water.
Oh, okay.
And it was a miracle. There is absolutely no way in the world. It's not possible for you to get out of that pipe the water I was getting with the 2 tanks down, water commission down, and the little piece of whatever that is on my roof for the last hope so you don't die of thirst. That ain't sending no. And guess what? Morning, water back down to beg water come from pipe.
Yep.
Flash and go.
I'm just
Right?
saying, he
So the
takes
Lord
care
just
of his
blessed me
own.
with a lovely proper shower with the pressure that I needed for my skin to feel all right from a long day. And
Yeah.
next day, I was still riding on the wave of that blessing. So I'm like, if you can send me a shower like that, Lord, ain't no water in the pipe like that.
Yeah,
Could
for
you
real.
please send me a vehicle?
A vehicle the same way.
Word up.
And
I'm
specific.
playing,
And I'm
bro.
specific about it too.
Yeah.
Like, yep.
I'm not playing. So if y'all think I'm making a joke or playing, I'm not. If you feel benevolent, praise the Lord. Holla at me.
Holla at me.
Mhm.
Yes, indeed. So yeah, man, let's keep the thing moving, man, so we can get into the topic.
Don't stop.
No. Yep. So shouts out to you know who, Breathe University. When you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you will be successful. Let me tell y'all something real quick. 1% Club. Um, there's so much going on right now, right? Y'all know E is the so-called not so-called. He is the critically acclaimed author, world-renowned speaker. He's an educator, and more importantly, he's a pastor. His church is about to be finished or almost finished, and that thing looks phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
He's better known by the motivational stuff that you see on YouTube and so on. And he's taken the world by storm with his creative style and high energy messages. His words continue to impact tens of millions of people in several hundred countries across the planet.
Literally. This
Like
is not hype.
we're not even playing with that. Through a significant social media presence and his recent domestic and international tours, right? And yeah, I don't. Every time, let me tell you what's so weird about that whole thing, right? Every time my phone rings, right? It for some strange reason it turns YouTube or the what's the name on. It's the weirdest thing.
Word. What's the track? Like pull that track down.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, pull that audio. That one that's playing that. Unless it shuts me off. Is it shutting me off too?
Nah, it's not. It's not. It plays on the. It's coming through on the YouTube.
Okay.
But yeah, but back to the topic. He's been doing just some phenomenal stuff. A couple years ago, your boy Chris brought us this thing called the assessment, and while the assessment tells you who you are and how you're wired, like for real, we like Diddy right now. We invented a remix. We're not only telling you who you are and how you're wired, but we're also telling you how to execute now as it relates to who you are and how you wire. So man, some of the stuff that we're doing, I've literally been in sessions where tears are rolling. Like I always thought that I was this and people made fun. I said, no, this is who you are naturally. Embrace who you are. The Creator created you that way. Now let's look to it like for real, capitalize on who you are and how you're wired, and let's take it to the next level. So yeah, man, and all under his leadership, man. So I just he's my dude, man. And for real, for those of you who are interested in personal development, you want to go to the next level, but you're just not quite sure how. In whatever area, it could be business, it could be relationally, it could be spiritually. Because my man is no joke with it on. You think he's dope in business?
I didn't the business version. I don't know. I didn't know. I knew 20 some years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I know that, and he's still
To this day.
committed.
To this day, killing the game, and still committed, still devoted to making sure people are turning themselves into the best version of themselves they could possibly be. So yeah, man, shouts out to Breathe University. If you want information or if you want to be come a part of the community for real, go to breatheuniversity.com.
Yeah, let's move forward, man. Let's skip this thing and let's get right into it, man.
Yep.
Yeah. So I was watching a video of a man singing choral music. He was singing a solo, like Morgan State University, the Aeolians, and so forth, you know. And so whenever that video finished, my wife showed me that, and he sung a wonderful solo, beautiful music. And then you know how Facebook runs next video or more videos or something.
I wonder if it's the same one with the tall, slender black guy, and he has high range.
Right. He was singing like the guy that passed away from back in the day from Nathan Carter's time at Morgan.
Let Some Drops.
Let Some Drops. Like they started that legacy in the 80s, right? They started that, right? So yes, and he did a wonderful job. I was blessed, you know, and then the thing scrolls up to the next video, and there's some guy with no shirt doing this, I don't know, silly little dance that came on by itself. I wasn't trying to watch it. But then I heard something in the background with this beat that I normally would hate, and a kind of music that I would normally absolutely hate, but I couldn't deny it. And I'm not going to name it, but it happens to be, and I never heard of it, but I was just so interested in why does this rubbish sound so good, right? Frankly. So I'm not going to name it now that I done called it rubbish and all that, right? So the bottom line, no, Quest, no, please. Like, after I did all that, now you know. And so now it's like,
I don't know what it is.
Fine, they can figure it out, but because I don't want to get beside the point, right? So it is so big on the charts, and then one of the charts decided, no, we're going to take you off of the charts because it doesn't fit the paradigm, even though it already ascended to the top of the charts. And long story short, and not
just on their charts,
everybody kind of charts, ridiculous, right? And you know, so I live under a rock. I don't know nothing about none of this stuff, but I just happened to hear it. And then I was so interested that I tracked it back. Somebody told me what it was. And then I looked at it and watched a news item on it. And I was like, what? Okay. But what it brought to my mind, though, while we're doing this program is that the chart that decided that this no longer qualifies to be at the top, despite the vote of confidence, despite the leadership, the listenership, despite the insane craze, the meteoric rise and all of that, was that they said it doesn't fit into what we consider to be this genre of music. So no more. We are taking it off of our charts. And I was like, and the whole time I'm looking at children in schools going bananas over the music. I'm watching like big time old singers and musicians going bananas over the music.
They know what it is by now. Cause okay, go ahead. Cause we finna dive. Yep, come on.
So my point is, so what you take it off that chart, and so what that you are trying to quantify, qualify, and make it seem like it needs to fit into this little cubby hole in order for it to be
absolutely
right. So in marriage, you who cares? Like people have said, are you liberal or conservative? I'm like, what is that? Are you this color or that color in politics? I'm like, what is that? Are you this person or that person when it comes on to your thoughts about, are you pro this or pro that? And I'm like, what is that? Why do you have to fit into this little channel, this tiny little channel that people say in your marriage in order for your marriage to be successful? Like, does your marriage have to be successful because it charts at the top of this category? What roles have you and Faith decided in your household, and does it fit into the book that Chapman did or Mardion did, that Dobson did, that Harris did? I'm gonna add mine to it, and anybody else. And if so, then good. But if not, and then your boy, Dr. What's his name, that you love to read? Or is it greenhouse rules?
Oh yeah. Oh, it's definitely greenhouse rules over here.
Yeah. So the whole point is, yes, we pay attention to the principles that breed success. Yes. But does it have to fit into this tiny little track for somebody else from the outside, some third party to endorse how you do marriage in order for it to be successful?
Well, it can't be one particular way, right, D? Because what's okay? Let's take the assessment for a moment.
Hmm.
When people take the assessment, there's four quadrants: the D, the I, the S, and the C.
I
Right?
took the free joint last week.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so you have
Complimentary.
dope. So now you have your pilot, you have your flight attendant, you have your grounds crew, you have air traffic control. All of those, I've never seen anybody with all of those at 99 because it's impossible. The only person that has 99 of all of those is God,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, that means that all of us you might have a little bit more up here on your cautious side, right? You
Mm-hmm.
might have a little bit more on your interactive side, your stabling side, decisive might be down here. Whatever the case may be, all of us are wired a little bit differently.
Mm-hmm.
Some are wired almost the same, but not quite the same, right?
Mm-hmm.
And with that being said, if I am operating in marriage, right? Let me tell you about me and my wife. Okay,
Go.
so my wife is Faith is 88 or 99 turtle, if you will, or air traffic control, right? And
Mm-hmm.
with her being all the way up there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, she's not wired like me because I am wired in the way where uh, I'm very much a people person, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the orientations are different. So if you get marriage, right, or to to your point a while ago, and you say, all right, it can operate only in this little area right here. With me and Faith being wired differently, how are we supposed to fit in that little thing right there if that
Yeah.
little thing doesn't work for our marriage,
Your
as
marriage.
it relates to who we are and how we're wired?
That's right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it can't. But what I will do is I will find out who she is, find out who I am, and we will balance things out depending. And here's the funny thing: you can't always operate in one little area 24/7, 365, because every little situation is not going to be conducive to this one little area that you operate in. What happens when the situation calls for something totally different that doesn't even fit this framework? Then
Adapt.
what?
You adapt. You must. Whenever we were doing, when I first got baptized, the church was doing, the pastor was leading us through in equipping the saints year. And then came this theories of personality, spiritually speaking. It was
Mhm.
really spirit controlled temperaments.
Mhm.
That's what it was about.
Yeah.
And what came to the fore was that while we have all of these theories, while we have all of these assessments, they
Mhm.
are still theories. So what it doesn't mean is that even though you say, and I know what you mean, and it gives a framework, you say flamingo in the framework y'all use, right?
Mhm.
That
Mhm.
doesn't mean that every aspect of what you do in every situation is fitting perfectly into what people expect, because this is not mathematics,
Mhm.
right? This is not a predictive formula. Like, I've been with you in public, the one time I've been with you at any time in the last 20, almost 30 years. Now it's more than 30 years. The one
Mhm.
time the flamingo dude actually blacks out and takes complete charge and control, and not on some friendly stuff.
Mhm.
It was on some direct, uh this is how it's going to be, and we're going to control this room, and that's unflamingo like,
Mhm.
right? And so
Mhm.
we adapt to the environment, we adapt to the situation, and besides that, if there are 100 different plots on this spectrum of who's a person with these certain characteristics, you're not
Mhm.
going to have all of them. And
Mhm.
so what does that mean? So if you live in a household with somebody who's friendly, that doesn't mean that they're forward with people that they shouldn't like.
Mhm.
If you're with somebody who is a choleric, that doesn't mean that they're going to be rude, right? If you're with somebody who has a melancholy temperament, that doesn't mean that they're going to be suicidal,
Absolutely.
right? It doesn't mean a lot of things. And so if you try to sort of typecast people like actors are typecast, you played this certain role when you were a baby, so we're going to run you through that forever. You're going to be the villain all the time. You're going to be the passive person all the time. You're going to be the one who nobody likes all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it can't be that way, and you're not giving people a fair shake in terms of who they are. Who is your wife? Who is your husband? Because you're not listening anymore. You've typecast them. You stuck them on a little chart. You said, all right, that's who they are. So what about growth? No need to grow because that's the way they are. Right?
That's the way that they're.
And so that it can't be with living, breathing beings, with organic situations. It cannot be.
Nope.
So
Nope.
God has given us the blessing to be able to grow, to learn, to adapt, right? So that our relationships can get stronger.
Absolutely. But look at what marriage is. Marriage is the institution that you enter in that you never graduate from. Why? Because as an individual, and you said it a while ago, you're always evolving, always changing. So what worked 3 years ago is not going to work now, because you're not if you are the same person, shame on you.
Something wrong. Yeah, little dude Josiah told his mommy, he's 8. Simone is always, she has this thing, like, so if he switches up, like he says, I don't like that, mommy, some kind of food. She was like, well, you liked it yesterday. Why are you acting like that? Yo, the dude decided. Usually it's just a back and forth on that level.
Mm-hmm.
But no, not this time. This time, she said, he was like, mommy, people change. I changed my mind. I don't like that anymore.
Wow. That's deep.
Simple as that, Quest.
That's deep. And you know what? And you know what? In most cases, I would have been like, but this boy fly past his nest. But no, he didn't.
No,
he's
not this
telling
time.
you. He's telling you, I'm changed. I changed. I
Yeah.
changed my mind. I don't.
You were quite right, but not.
And that's perfectly fine.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's the reason why I'm not an activist really on any level. So if you look up activist in the dictionary, I'm not really that, but sometimes I do get level passionate on certain things.
Mm-hmm.
And if I were to be an activist, I would be an activist on, and that doesn't exist clearly, on don't try to make somebody whatever you think the little box is of them. Don't do it, because you cause unnecessary stress. You cause unnecessary what do you call it, disagreements in the household, right?
But it's unfair.
It's unfair. And me, like, for instance, if you happen to be of the selfish ordination in your household,
Mm-hmm.
and like for me, I'm very neat. What if I required somebody to be me?
It's unfair. It's an expectation.
I can't be like them. So how
Okay.
they gonna be like me?
Here's the funny thing, and this is the reason why this is so fun. Where me and Faith used to bump heads sometimes, because there's some stuff that comes along. Like, you see, I showed you the website that we're working on now,
Yes,
and
sir.
everything else, right? So I handed over everything on that side of the house to Faith, because that's who she is. She's detailed and she's oriented,
Word.
like, for real.
Mhm.
Remember I told you she came in here and did my calendar in like 15, 20 minutes. I would have been in here an hour and a half to 2 hours trying to get this thing worked out. Why? Because I'm not wired for all them details. You give me too much and I'm just like, okay, this is too much.
I want to go listen to something.
Bruh, I gave her the thing.
Yeah.
She was at work today and in 30 minutes knocked out a full document of information that needs to be put into the website. And I was like, you know what? That right there, I was like, here's Marshall's email address. Here is this. Here's the number. Contact him and take care of it from here. She's like, okay, cool. I got it.
By the time you hung up, she was ready. Done.
Yeah, but here's the funny thing. She used to get mad at me sometimes because I wouldn't operate like that. Well, how come you didn't? And da. I'm not. Well, it's common sense.
No.
Common sense ain't so common when you wire differently.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Common sense about what?
About what?
Yeah. What's the context?
Yeah. And so sometimes I would try to bring her into, now she's sociable, don't get me wrong. Faith is very sociable. I would take her up in the front sometimes to do conferences and stuff with me. You know, we were talking to larger groups and she was like, don't leave. Don't leave. It's your turn. Do you? Don't leave.
Holla. Right.
No. And then when we would get off, I'm like, what happened? She was like, I can't do that. And I was like, okay, good.
Now
You
we got
can't.
something to work with.
Okay,
Yeah,
now you understand where I'm coming from now. You're wired for this particular thing, and for me to expect you to do what I do the way that I do it is unfair. Why? Because you're not wired for it. The same way it's unfair for you to expect me to be wired like you and be detailed like you. It's unfair expectations. And so here's the thing. I want to ask a couple of the people that are listening rhetorically and just for your discussions later on. What kind of unfair expectations are you putting on your spouse to be a
that's right.
particular thing, right?
Right.
And here's the funny thing, they may not even be wired for it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what that means? That means hit us up and take the assessment. That's what
Yeah.
that means. No, for real.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because for real, D, I believe that that is one of the reasons why communication, even though we may feel like, man, I talk all the time and you're still not being heard, is because you're not speaking the language.
Like I told you, my brother taught me to speak so I could be heard rather than just speaking. I needed to understand how to do that. And since he taught me that, I don't have a problem. I don't. Yeah. So that's the bottom line. Don't feel like, even though certain principles do continue, they're a continual thing, no matter what relationships you're in, that doesn't mean that all details of how certain things work out are supposed to work out this way. Like, I'll just give you one last scenario, very simple. Say your spiritual gift or your ability is teaching,
Mm-hmm.
teaching,
Mm-hmm.
and say it's teaching the same thing. You teach the same thing I teach. Well, I'm on in front of a camera 7 days a week, Quest, and on 4 of those days, multiple times a day. And when I'm not in front of a camera, I'm in front of hundreds or 1,000 people
Mm-hmm.
regularly, not intermittently. But what if your teaching ability, gift, or talent is more training? Is it not teaching? Well, it's still teaching. What if it's hands on at a desk? Is it not teaching? When I come out of here at the end of the day and the boy needs to learn math, guess who's not doing that? That would be me.
Yep.
I've taught all levels of brains on all kinds of stuff, but I'm not teaching Josiah mathematics. I'm not training him. I'm not coaching him. I'm not encouraging. I'm not that dude, bro. It's just not going to happen. I didn't do it when I was in school, even though you got these fond memories. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know how I got out of school. I have no idea. Because bro man wasn't doing that. And I ain't doing it today. Call me what you want to call me. But so even the same kind of thing, it doesn't come out the same kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? So Lord bless us, man. We just need to be cognizant of the fact that we are people. People are organic. We're living, breathing beings. And we have
Evolving and
to have,
changing.
that's right. So we need to be able to grow
Mm-hmm.
straight up.
Word.
So yeah, thank you for joining us. And
Anytime.
especially those joining us from the Grown and Married crew. And
Come on.
we appreciate you.
Shouts out to the grown and married crew.
Yeah, man. Big up to Rising Hope Radio. Hope renewed every day.
Come
Ha!
on. Stay focused.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, people. Thank you. And Quest is on freeze frame. I forgot what they call that thing whenever they were doing that. They would have people, whole rooms full of people just,
Oh, the something challenge, the freeze. I don't know what they call it. The
I don't know,
freeze challenge or some kind of challenge.
freeze challenge. Hashtag freeze. I don't
Freeze.
think it was that.
Frozen. Frozen
Yes.
challenge.
So thank you, everybody. And thank you for running with us. I know that it's been a little bit, like a little jarring having a different time now and two different, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. And so my notification is here. Uh,
Okay.
and so that means that I must go and pick up Mason the
Okay.
Warrior.
Okay. Well, thank you. And have a wonderful day, everybody, because we want to save that marriage. Holler.
I'm
Holler.
gonna take my horse
Oh,
to
no, no,
the
no. Goodbye. We're
I'm
finished.
gonna
All right. Peace.
ride till I can't no